Tonight on CTV, we'll take an in-depth look over the lockdown in Braiden and Summit Residence halls, a climate research conducted by CSU, and an update on the construction happening here in Fort Collins.
Then, find out about the strange bird occurrences in Rocky Mountains and update on the Cameron Peak fire and a Senate debate taking place here at CSU.
All that and more starting now on CTV. Good evening, Rams. I'm Ren Radsworth.
And I'm Alexandria Cullen. We hope you are all having a good Tuesday night. We have a lot of interesting stories for you all today, so let's get right into it.
Colorado State University is set to make political history as it hosts the only televised Senate debate this year. The Republican incumbent Cory Gardner and former Governor John Hickenlooper plan to debate face-to-face, but without an audience early next month. The debate is scheduled for October 13th from 6 to 7 p.m. And make sure to tune in on Thursday because Kenny Frederick has more information on the debate, where it will be held, and where you can watch it for yourself.
Colorado State University is partnering with the University of Oklahoma on a 5-year program focusing on artificial intelligence and environmental research. The goal is to learn about how it can actually utilize this type of groundwork exploration. According to Matthew Rogers, a research coordinator for the Cooperative Institute of Research in the Atmosphere, this program was rigorously reviewed before being selected. CSU will lead 2 use cases studies in the hopes of better understanding tropical storms and the prediction of severe weather events on multiple timescales.
Within the last few weeks, Colorado has had a surge of new coronavirus cases. According to public health data, over 4,000 new cases have surfaced. Just in the last week, 2 of the worst counties in Colorado, Boulder and Denver, have issued orders to help fight the spread of the virus. Denver has not announced their order as yet, but Boulder's plan is to not let anyone between the ages of 18 and 22 to gather together, even in groups as small as 2, unless they are living together. Both Boulder and Denver counties are home to large Colorado colleges, and it is speculated this is the cause for the orders being created. But with college counties being scrutinized, it may be the time to ask, is Larimer County next to receive a similar order?
2 residence halls here on campus are under mandatory lockdown due to the high amounts of COVID found in the wastewater.
This is the only way the school can stay open. This is the only way that everyone can stay healthy and we can stay on top of COVID.
On Thursday evening, students living within the Braiden and Summit halls received an email stating that CSU was implementing an immediate quarantine for these 2 dorms. Some students ran out the door to go home. Others just stared at the email in shock. Although it was a thought in many's minds, no one actually believed that it would become a reality.
Now, being locked in the dorm isn't something I think any of the students wanted to do this semester. Let's get an inside look on how they feel going forward.
At first, I was a little bit nervous because I thought Braiden was doing a pretty good job because whenever I would go out into the halls, I would see people social distancing and wearing their masks.
Personally, I'm doing all right. This time I've actually, I've got someone to share a room with, and so there's a lot of socializing, which you don't get if you are put into quarantine.
However, some are dealing with it better than others.
Personally, I'm going a little bit insane. My roommate and I are doing pretty well, but it is hard not going outside.
All these students want to share the same simple message.
Please wear your masks when you're on campus.
Just say, make sure that you keep following, 6 feet apart, social distancing, wear your masks when indoors and stuff like that. And before you know it, we'll all be out of this together.
Now, we do have a live update on the lockdown for students who live in Braiden or Summit and have tested negative have officially been released from the building-wide quarantine.
If you haven't seen or heard a lot of birds lately, there may be a mysterious reason why. With spooky season right around the corner, birds have seemingly disappeared. A huge number of migratory birds across the Rocky Mountain region seemingly dropped dead from the sky. Experts are unsure if this is due to the early cold spell we had a few weeks ago or because of poor air quality caused by the fires in both Colorado and California. Regardless of the reason, researchers are concerned this could negatively impact species of birds whose populations are already in decline. We'll keep you updated on any new information that may come out about our feathered friends.
With all recent road construction projects going on around town, you may start avoiding yet another street. 2 intersections on Shield Street just got an upgrade. That's right, 2 new red light cameras were added this summer. The crossing between Mulberry and Shields, as well as the intersection on Prospect Road and Shield Street, was installed in mid-September. These cameras are placed on busy roads to scale down red light violations while hoping to reduce the amount of roadside collisions. If caught on camera, you will receive a $75 fine. All funds received from these red light cameras will go towards future operating cameras that will be placed in the city of Fort Collins.
Last week, I covered Colorado State's mountain campus and how it was impacted by the Cameron Peak fire. Today, we have an update about the firefighters stationed there.
As the Cameron Peak fire continues to burn, Cass Cairns, a public information officer for the Cameron Peak fire, sat down to explain the severity of the situation.
There's a lot of fire out there, and when it first started, it's been going since the 13th of August, and it seems like forever, and people kind of wonder, so why isn't this fire out already? It's a situation that you put firefighters out there to fight directly at the fire edge. You're putting them at very high risk because of the winds kick up and everything else. There's no way they'll be able to get out in time safely.
Firefighters have been stationed at Colorado State University's mountain campus as they battle the fire. The makeshift outpost acts as a temporary second home to many firefighters due to its current vacancy and accessibility to the blaze.
Some firefighters that are staying there right now, and as well as we've got firefighters that are placed all around the fire area in what we call spike camps.
Officer Cairns explains that while many of the firefighters' supplies are already taken care of, a little can go a long way in terms of goodwill and morale.
The other thing, of course, they absolutely love is the letters and the posters thanking firefighters, because they see that, especially going home, and it makes them feel really appreciated.
Ren Radsworth, CTV, Channel 11.
If you're interested in donating to communities impacted by the Cameron Peak fire, you can visit redcross.org/donate.
If you used to ride the transport bus on routes 6 and 7, you're in luck. Service will reopen as of October 5th, 2020. These 2 routes were suspended back in April in part of a larger service suspension project. Both routes depart from CSU Transit Center, as Route 6 travels to Swallow Station via Mulberry and Taft Hill Road, while Route 7 goes from Ridgewood Farms to Shield Street and Drake. CSU Transit recognizes that community members rely on these buses as their primary mode of transportation and are working hard to resume service amongst the COVID-19 pandemic. For service routes and times, please visit ridetransport.com/routes.
New Mexico has updated their out-of-state quarantine list, and Colorado has been added. A New Mexico executive order requires visitors from higher-risk states to quarantine themselves for 14 days or the duration of their trip, whichever is shorter. The state quarantine order requires people who visit from states with a 5% positivity rate to social distance in residential areas after their entry into New Mexico. With Colorado's increasing number of coronavirus numbers, it, along with Oregon and Rhode Island, have been moved to the list of high-risk states, which now totals 39. We'll keep you updated as New Mexico and other states release their lists.
The UC Health Garland England Blood Center is now taking post-COVID-19 plasma donations. Statistics are proving that this type of plasma has actually benefited the treatment of COVID in patients since they began back in April. The convalescent plasma contains antibodies which help fight infection. As of September 22nd, the center has had over 137 donors, contributing almost 300 usable units of plasma to help combat coronavirus in both patients in Colorado and across the country. If you believe you are qualified to donate, contact the center's recruiter or fill out an online form on their website. Well, that's all we have tonight, Rams.
Don't go anywhere because we have Lita's coming up with your entertainment scoop right after the break, so stick around.